Hello, my name is Fatima Perez.
And I'm Salma Zazueta, and we're going to be explaining how to solve quadratic equations by factoring.
Okay, the first equation will be x squared plus 4x plus 3. And we're going to start using the x puzzle because the equation is already set to 0, which is standard form. We then have to put the 3 on top and the 4 at the bottom. The reason is because we need to find a number that adds up to 4 and multiplies to 3. So those numbers will be 3 and 1. If you add them, you get 4, and if you multiply them, you get 3.
After finding the two multiples, which were 3 and 1, afterwards we set them equal to 0, and then we solved for x.
Alright, so now they're like basically a normal equation because they're in the standard form again. So to find x is for this one, we subtract 3. So x will be equal to -3, and in this one -1, which will be x equals to -1. Okay, so this was the easy example, and these were the answers. Okay, so the first equation was really easy, and now we're gonna advance to a different one, which is a little bit more hard. This equation will be 2x squared plus 15x plus 7.
In this equation, we'll be multiplying 2 times 7 since a is greater than 1. And the equation will end as x squared plus 15x plus 14 equals 0. After that, we use the x puzzle to find the two multiples.
Okay, so in this case, the 14 will go on top and the 15 will go at the bottom. Now the two multiples.
For this example, we had to multiply the 2 times the 7 since a is greater than 1.
The reason for this is because we need to leave the x squared alone.
The equation will end as x squared plus 15x plus 14 equals 0.
And now we're going to use the x puzzle, and we're going to place the 14 on top and the 15 at the bottom again, like the first equation. So now the multiples for this, so now the sets will be x plus 14 and x plus 1. Okay, now, so now the next step is to divide the 14 and the 1 by 2. The reason for that is because every time you have a number in front of the x squared and you get rid of it by multiplying with the c, then that number it's gonna convert this numbers into a division. So this number you put it at the bottom, and in this case the x plus 14 divided by 2 will equal to x plus 7. And as you can see in this case, it's different because when you divide them, you don't get a whole number, you get 0.5. So what we're gonna do here is leave the x plus 1 and the 2 will go in front of the x.
After that, we have to equal them to 0, which will give us x plus 7 equals 0 and 2x plus 1 equals 0. Then we have to solve for x by subtracting 7 to both sides, and it will give us x equals -7. That's the first answer. On the second one, we have to solve for x as well by subtracting 1 to both sides, and it will give us 2x equals -1. Then we have to divide by 2, and the answer will be x equals -1/2. In this equation, we will be distributing the 3, which is going to be 3x squared plus 3 minus x equals 2x plus 9. Now that we distributed, we moved everything to the left side so that our equation can be set up equal to 0 by subtracting 2x and 9. The reason we moved everything to one side was because the equation wasn't in standard form.
Okay, now to make the equation in standard form, we're gonna add the 2x with the x and subtract 3 from the negative 9. And that will be 3x squared minus 6, because negative 9 plus 3 is negative 6. And then here, since this x is negative and these two x's are negative as well, it will be negative 3x equal to 0. Now, as you can see here, in standard form, the x is supposed to be in the middle, and this is not the case right now, so you just have to change them. And it will be 3x squared minus 3x minus 6.
Now we have to multiply a times c since a is greater than 1. The reason we did that was because we have to leave x squared alone. So it will give us x squared minus 3x minus 18 equals 0.
Okay, so now we're going to use the x puzzle. And the negative 18 goes on top and the negative 3 at the bottom. And the numbers that will belong here is negative 6 and positive 3. When you multiply them, it equals to negative 18, and when you add them, it equals to negative 3. So now the multiples will be x minus 6 and x plus 3.
After finding the two multiples, we have to divide them by 3, since in the beginning we multiplied 3 times negative 6. So on the first one, it will give us x minus 2 and x plus 1.
Okay, so now for those, we need to solve for x. And x minus 2 equals to 0, and x, plus 1 equals to 0. So to cancel the negative 2 on the left side, you add 2, and it will be x equals to positive 2. And for this one, will be subtract 1, and the answer will be x equals to negative 1.